Now, thanks to Modern Horizons 3, it's actually possible to make literally infinite lands as early as turn 4, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So here is our infinite land deck for Timeless, and you're probably wondering, how in the world can you create infinite lands, literally infinite lands, as early as turn 3 or 4 in Timeless? And the answer here is Springheart Nantuko. So Springheart Nantuko, you probably know this card. He's playing like Nadu combo in Modern. We're not doing any of those shenanigans with it. It's a 2-mana 1/1 insect monk. You can bestow it on a creature for 2 mana. It gives enchanted creature +1/+1, and then it has a landfall ability that is essentially, if it's attached to a creature, when a land ETBs, you can pay 2 mana and make a copy of that creature. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you get a 1/1 insect creature token. So the goal of our deck is to bestow Springheart Nantuko onto a land that Nissa, who shakes the world, turns into a creature with her +1 ability. Also, Nissa lets our forest tap for 2 mana. It's important that we put Springheart Nantuko specifically in a forest, which is fine because pretty much all of our lands, or most of our lands, are forests anyways. So the idea here is we use Nissa to turn a land into a creature. Then we put Springheart Nantuko on it, and then all we need to do is make a land drop, preferably again a forest. So we play a forest. That's going to trigger Springheart Nantuko to say, pay 2 mana and make a copy of what I am bestowed on. So we can pay 2 mana with the land that we just paid, because the land's going to tap for 2 because of Nissa, to make a copy of whatever Springheart Nantuko's on, which happens to be a land. This land, not going to have any counters on it. It's just going to be a normal land, but it's going to enter the battlefield, which will again trigger Springheart Nantuko. And now we have this new land that taps for 2 mana, so we can use that land to pay the 2, to use Springheart Nantuko's ability to make another land to pay the 2. Do it again. Basically, we make infinite forests, all of them tapping for 2 mana. By itself, this just makes an absurd amount of mana, right? We just like make an infinite number of lands, and then I guess we can use them to cast spells in the future. But if we add another card to the mix, that's how we can turn this into a game-winning combo. So we have like Nissa Resurgent Animus. When a land ETBs, we make a mana. So if we have the combo with a Nissa, then we make infinite mana that we can use right away. If we have Courser of Krufix, it has landfall, we gain a life. So we gain infinite life if we have Courser out. We have Evolution Sage. When a land ETBs, we proliferate. So infinite proliferation, all the counters on our Nissa and our other stuff. And then the big payoff, Bristly Bill Spinesower. Landfall, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So how we normally win the game with this deck is we combo off, make infinite lands, preferably with a Bristly Bill out. That's going to let us put infinite counters on our creatures. And then because Arena is going to cap us or whatever, we're not going to be able to literally go infinite because we'll hit the token limit of 250 lands. Then we can use all of our mana to activate Bristly Bill's ability a bunch of times, which doubles all the counters on our creatures to make creatures that are billions of power and smash our opponent to death on the spot. So that's the goal of the deck. The rest of the deck, we get a bunch of fast mana to try to turbo into our kill, just speed things up, get a bunch of card draw like Invasion of Ixalan, Outcaster, Trailblazer. Old Growth Troll isn't really card draw, but it works really well with Trailblazer because it needs 4 power creatures, works with Disciple of Freyalise since we can sack it to draw 4 cards. So these are just to dig through our deck and find our payoffs, to find our combo pieces. Mana base, Disciple of Freyalise, technically a land, so it's an NDFC. Bunch of forests, Nykthoses to have these huge explosive turns. And that is how you make infinite lands in Timeless with Springheart Nantuko. That's our deck for today. Let's jump into some games and see just how possible it is to pull this off. Can we actually make an infinite number of forests, get an infinite number of +1/+1 counters, make an infinite amount of mana, gain an infinite amount of life? Let's find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up. Need some magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. We are trying to make infinite lands today. See if we can actually pull this off. It's going to be sweet if we can actually make it happen. This hand, we have like 0 combo pieces, but double Invasion of Ixalan, good for digging. We got some card draw. Got a Kiora for some reason that doesn't do much yet, but might do things eventually. Kiora, you know, Kiora tries hard. Kiora is actually absurd in this deck once it gets going. We'll see. We'll see if we draw Nykthos or something. But no Nantuko, no Nissa. I think we keep it though. Trust that we can dig our way into it. Is it another Disciple of Freyalise? Disciple of Freyalise is actually really good in this deck too. Again, once it gets going. Do we play one? I like to hold on to them. We have 2 lands. I think we can wait. It is painful to take 3 for no reason. That's a lot of damage to the face, but it is also possible we want to be casting these to draw a bunch of cards for a Steam Vents. Sure. And an island and passes. More Kioras. Well, let's get down Invasion Ixalan. See if we can dig for 8 combo piece. Oh, mana drain. All right. Well, I mean, I guess if something was going to get mana drained. Oh, God. Aetherworks Marvel. Okay. Thankfully, our opponent has currently 0 energy. Now what? So we can get down Kiora while there's no counters? Yeah, I think that's worth it. The other option's like Plot Trailblazer, but we kind of want to get something down now that we know our opponent's a counter deck, a control deck, if you will. Probably worth actually getting something on the battlefield while you can. Opponent, Ugin's Labyrinth, nothing to exile. Wood Reaver's Puzzle Knot, but no green mana, so they get 3 energy, get some life. Wow, more Kioras. Kiora Flood. So Invasion of Ixalan. I am very scared of Aetherworks Marvel. Oh, come on now, opponent. Aether Spike. Oh, not going to counter it, though. They're just making 2 energy. Oh, we probably got to take Nykthos. Oh, man. But there's the Springheart Nantukos, 2 of them. We don't have the Nissa to go with them anyway, so it's not like we can combo here. But with so many Kioras, I feel like it's gonna be worth it to get a Nykthos going. Once we get some pips, we can pop. We need some pips to pop. Well, let's plot the Trailblazer. Anytime there's a Marvel on the battle, I remember this from Standard. Anytime there's an Aetherworks Marvel, all right, so opponent's going to Legend roll to get some energy, because when things die, you get energy with the Marvel. Spin it to win it, spin it to win it. Come on, no big Eldrazi. Come on. Whew, okay, opponent spins into some more energy, which is fine. We draw an Evolution Sage, which is funny if we combo. Well, how do we do this? We can play the Trailblazer. We get to draw a card, thanks to Kiora. We get to make a mana. We draw a Nissa. We might just Disciple of Freyalise, sack the Trailblazer, draw 4. We need to find combo. Like, the way we're going to win this game is by comboing off. That is it. That is all. Because our opponent will spin into a huge Eldrazi at some point. So if we do not combo, we will die to huge Eldrazi. Yeah, I think we're just going to sack it. I like having a Trailblazer out long term just to like generate value, but I think 4 cards right now is better than hopefully, theoretically, maybe drawing more cards in the future. I guess we can run out Evolution Sage plus Nissa and just flood the board. Yeah, I want to draw cards. Let's do it. Disciple of Freyalise, MDFC power, sack the Trailblazer, draw 4. Wow, do we whiff on lands? That's incredibly awkward. We found a Nissa and a Nantuko, though, which is pretty good. Also, Disciple of Freyalise has 3 green mana symbols, which is kind of relevant here. We will discard... Oh, we got the Bristly Bill, too. We actually might be able to combo off here. It is not impossible. This is not going to be the fastest combo, but it is not impossible. Well, our opponent can spin the Marvel again, right? They can sack the Puzzle Knot, making green with the Transformer, or whatever it is, Solar Transformer, and then spin it to win it. Part 2. That's the thing about Marvel, right? As long as your whiffs get you more energy, you just spin again the next turn, and sooner or later, by the law of averages, if you spin Marvel enough times, and like 6 cards deep in your deck enough times, you will hit what you're looking for eventually. Opponent, Marvel, sacks it. Spin it to win it, spin it to win it, into... Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Well, that's pretty bad for us. So in theory, well, I assume they take down -6. Yeah, they're going to snipe everything. So that gets rid of all of our green mana symbols, which sucks. Although in theory, Nissa can just snipe this Ugin and get it off the battlefield, which would be nice. And our opponent currently is very short on energy to spin again. So I think Ugin might be, assuming we can kill it here, it might actually be one of the big hits we can survive compared to an Eldrazi. Well, let's get into Ugin. Oh, all right. Galvanic Discharge. Yup. Well, Ugin lives. I guess we might be able to try again next turn. Hopefully our opponent can't get enough mana to spin again this turn, or else we're in serious trouble. I'm going to bolt the Nissa and pass. Okay, win another Nissa. All right, can we kill this godforsaken Ugin? Awkwardly, we don't have a land. That's kind of funny that having a land in hand is part of the combo. We need to have a land to trigger the first landfall for it to work, and we have so much action, but no lands. We do have double mana now, thanks to Nissa, which is nice. So float mana. Really, 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 really need this Ugin to die. Once it goes up to 5 loyalty, it's going to become very tough. If they have like another removal spell for this forest, plus we need to stop losing our lands. What else do we do? Do we plot a Trailblazer? So we can play Kiora, which is not literally free, but kind of almost free, since our land's tapped for 2. So play Kiora. I guess building up mana symbols again is helpful with 2 Kioras still. We might just run out the Trailblazer. Nykthos still not really doing anything yet. So we make 3 mana. Let's just not even plot. Let's just play the Trailblazer. Draw a card. Make a mana. It's an old growth troll. Can untap a forest. Well, Nykthos is now mana positive, although I don't think we need it here. Let's just old growth. We can still make Nykthos mana post-combat off of our forest. Ether Spike. Are you actually countering it? Sure. Well, old growth troll. Draw a card, draw a card. Discard a Nissa. All right, well, the Ugin's still alive. If our opponent -3s, we keep the land. We keep the Nissa. I guess they can, like, bolt a land? All right, opponent, get a -3. Boy, we've got our board wrath multiple times here. We still have the Nissa, though, which is big. Opponent gets... Oh, no, really? Another puzzle knot. Enough energy to spin it to... Is this number 4? Is this the 4th Marvel spin? How are we not dead? They're just slowly eating away our board. Opponent, either works Marvel. Emrakul the world to do. All right, well, they steal our forest. Well, that is a 2-turn clock. It's looking grim. Somehow we need to win the game in 2 turns. The only good news is we still do have combo potential. We cannot draw land, which is a problem. Well, that's Utopia Sprawl. I mean, we can have a big turn. Oh, boy. What if we just flood the board with creatures for Nykthos purposes, but then our opponent Emrakul's again? That would be very sad. They have 0 energy. 0. I mean, I guess they can, if they can make an energy, they can use the Transformer to sack the puzzle knot. So I guess they can kind of rebuild. We really don't want to run out our combo pieces till we can combo. We need to draw land. That's what it comes down to. Like, there is a chance that we can combo next turn if we draw land, because we have the Bristly Bill, we have the Nissa, we have another Nissa in hand. Well, let's play the Delighted Halfling. We don't want to run out combo pieces. We want to protect those, hopefully. Let's play another Nissa. Nissa's a nice combo piece, but not a necessary combo piece. Fanatic Aronis and Nissa. We can't really attack. Maybe we just don't. Well, yeah, let's do it. Let's untap it. And you know what? Let's run out the Bristly Bill. If they find another Emrakul, they find another Emrakul. Pass the turn. We need the mana symbols because they're about to kill this Nissa, I'm sure. Oh, really? Tune the narrative. 2 energy. Oh my god, they did it, didn't they? Either up 3 energy, and then they can make 4 from the puzzle knot? Wow. They managed to get literally exactly the right amount of energy to spin again. Oh no, is this the end? My only friend. Okay, just to devour destiny. I mean, that is still really good. That's gonna snipe our best card, which is Nissa. Well, okay, here's where we're at. We gotta top deck a land. If we top deck a land, even after all this, 5 Marvel spins and Emrakul killing our stuff, if we top deck a land, we win the game. That's what, assuming our opponent's not holding a counter as their last card or something, but even after all this, come on, deck, come on. Ooh, Nykthos. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter what the land is. This should do it, right? This should do it. So, we do need to get the Nissa down. We need to Springheart Nantuko on the forest. That'll make it 4 power to turn on Fanatic of Aronis. So we can use Fanatic Aronis, make 6 mana, play the Nissa, and now the fun begins. Okay, infinite lands, infinite landfall, infinite mana, infinite in every way. So play the Nykthos. Legend Rule ourselves. Most importantly, trigger landfall on Springheart Nantuko. So the trick here, okay, it's on a land, right? So we can pay 2. We Bristly Bill, put a counter on whatever. We're going to make our team very big. So we can pay 2, make a mana with Nissa. Let's use this Nykthos mana to get things going. So we pay 2 to Springheart Nantuko. That's going to make a copy of whatever it's bestowed on, which is a land. The land is not going to be a creature. It's just going to be a normal land, but that's going to trigger landfall again. And the land taps for 2 mana thanks to Nissa. So now we can do it again, make another land thanks to our Springheart Nantuko, get another counter with Bristly Bill, make another mana with Nissa. And we can do this an infinite number of times. Opponent tapping out the Uggin's Labyrinth just so they don't waste their clock. So how we win the game here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures that can attack. We just need to make them big enough. We're going to auto stack our triggers here, I think, to speed things up. So we just need to make our team big enough that we can kill our opponent. And remember, this also means that our team is infinitely big because we have Bristly Bill. So once we put a few counters on things, we have infinite mana. We can double the counters on our things an infinite number of times. End result's going to be everything super big, Emrakul no problem, Devour no problem, stealing our stuff no problem, even the Aetherworks Marvel no problem. We just have to click again and again and again. That's the that's only downside of this combo. Much clicking. All right, so keep doing the thing, keep doing the thing. So we need opponents at 31. How big do we need to make our team? We want all of our attacking creatures to be at least 31 power. Our forest tap for 2. We have mana that's going to be coming from this Nissa. If we get like 6 counters on each, is that enough? I mean, we should be fine, right? Ish. Well, let's put counters on things and put counters on things. Maybe we'll go 7. What about 7 counters? I mean, we are infinite. The only thing we're limited by is the clock and the token limit. So we could just do this all day. Maybe 7. I think 7's probably enough once we start doubling because the team's going to get super big. So we'll just decline. We could keep going, of course, but we'll get the token. We'll draw the Disciple of Freyalise, which Nissa will always find. So that's the other thing we can do, right? Is like we do the combo, Nissa finds Disciple of Freyalise. That can sack one of the huge things to draw our deck or however much of our deck that we want to find more combo pieces or whatever. But this should do it. So make a bunch of Nissa mana. And then old Bristly Bill gonna do some double troubling here. And, well, so that was not as fast and as clean as we wanted, but we did get there. We made infinite lands somehow through getting Emrakul and Wrath twice by Ugin, Devour of Destiny, double them, and also double them. And I say we double them. And we got some mana left. We might as well double them. And how about one more double them? And all right, opponent. Your Eldrazi are pretty big, but are they Bristly Bill big? Opponent blocks, and takes 800 some damage, and, well, that's how you make infinite lands. And beat Ugins and Emrakuls and a bunch of really scary Eldrazi. That was kind of ridiculous. We are trying to make infinite lands again. Even faster this time. This hand isn't very close to making infinite lands, but I do like all the Trailblazers. We'll see if we're fast enough here. We do have nothing to do until turn 3, which is kind of frightening on the draw. Bone it. Land. Oh god, aggro. Oh. All right, Ocelot Pride. How about no follow-up, opponent? How about that? Ocelot. Sus. And Johnny. Are they a cat deck? They might actually be a cat deck. I think we might be... Oh boy, 6-drop. We might be losing to a cat deck here. Ocelot Pride's one of those cards that if you have a draw like this where you can't block it or deal with it, it does snowball pretty hard, opponent. Gonna go attacking. Hits us with the Ocelot and a bunch of cats. Down to 14. They don't have a red permanent currently, which is good. A Johnny, less scary if it's not dealing damage with the backside. Wow, opponent. Galvanic Discharge, one of their own cats, to flip their Johnny. Do they also have a red? If they also have a red permanent, we might just be dead. Opponent. A Johnny. And makes a token. And wow, even more Ocelots. Even more Ocelots. Well, it might not even matter. We just might be dead anyway. We draw a Kiora, and we gotta play the Old Growth Troll. Just have a block. Wait, are we just dead? Because the other thing Johnny does, you don't see as much, is it can plus to pump cats. If they pump 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, oh yeah, we're like super ultra. Wow, what an impressive draw. I see a Johnny quite a bit, but not in cat decks. But in the cat deck, the plussing to pump your cats is actually super good. We're literally just dead here. Yeah, opponent sees the line, pumps the cats, swings with the cats, and dead. We did not make infinite lands that time, or really do anything. Oh, let's see what our opponent's up to. Ooh, this hand. All right, I can get behind this. 2 lands, but one's a Nykthos, which can be worth many lands. We got the Springheart Nantuko, we got the Bristly Bill, we got some digging with Invasion Ixalan. Sand actually looks pretty good. Actually looks pretty solid. So to go infinite, we need the Nissa, and we just need to like get some pips on the battlefield for Nykthos, get some mana going in one way or another. But I think there's a shot. There's a shot. And we got the Bristly Bill as a payoff for the combo if we do it. I found it. Doing some mulliganing, which probably means we're about to die. When people mulligan in Timeless, I don't think, oh, poor opponent. I think, oh, they're trying to find some turn 1 kill plan. Well, we will play a Forest and pass. All right, opponent. Let's see what you mulligan into. Ooh, just a land and pass. Wow, there's the Nissa. Okay, well, Invasion of Ixalan. Do a little digging. Mostly, I mean, we really just need mana, I think. Oh, well, I guess it's Disciple of Freyalise. That is mana. Perhaps painful mana, but it counts. It counts as mana. Opponent gonna crack the Bloodstained Buyer. Survey a land. Sure. Leaves it on top. Opponent untaps. Plays the fetch. Cracks the fetch. If they're gonna scam, well, they probably could have. Ooh, Mardu. So it could be scam. There is like a Mardu energy scam deck that exists. Oh god, Dark Ritual. That's not great. So are we getting Vein Rippered? Sorin. Insolent Neonate. Maybe they don't have anything to put into play. Opponent cracks a Neonate. Discards a Gulta. Oh jeez. And Sorin. Colton Maverin. Alright, turn 2, 12-12, and a Planeswalker. That's fine. That's fine. We're good, right? So we have 2 turns. We have 2 turns to beat a Galton Maverin. Our deck doesn't believe in removal. We're a Fill Commander deck in Timeless. So we're not going to be killing this Galton Maverin. Well, I think we need to Disciple of Freyalise, pay the life. Get down Utopia Sprawl on green. Yeah, let's plot the Trailblazer. So the question's going to be, can we pop... Oh, boy. Can we pop off next turn? We need to pop off. We need to either literally win the game or make a board so big that we can stop this Galton Maverin. The question is... All right, Priest of the Felright, sure. Opponent, yeah, ticks up. Gets in for 13. Gains a bunch of life. We go to 4. There's a Utopia Sprawl. Can we do this? So Utopia Sprawl's free. Do we have enough mana is the question. Maybe. So Utopia Sprawl's free. Outcast of Trailblazer comes down. It makes a mana. So right now we have 5 mana symbols for Nykthos. Oh, we need to Nissa a forest. So we can't Nissa the Nykthos. We need to Nissa the forest because we need to be able to put the Springheart Nantuko on it. Let's do some digging. Invasion of Ixalan. Take the forest. We need that as well. We need the land in hand. So Nykthos for 5. Wait, does this work? Oh my god, I think this works. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Or are we going to beat a turn 2 Galton Maverin off Sorin? Nissa got to untap the forest with all the million Utopia Sprawls on it. Then we can tap that for 4. Exactly enough mana. Okay, Springheart Nantuko. Wow, this is absurd. Springheart Nantuko on the forest. Bristly Bill, using our last 2 mana, and then play the forest. Now we get to make infinite lands. Since we have Bristly Bill, we get to make infinitely big creatures. Oh my god. Wow. Our opponent can sack a vampire to hit us for 3, but that only puts us to 1. So we need to make our team so big that we don't lose to Galton Mavrin attacking or this Priest of Felrites attacking. So we need all of our creatures to be bigger than like 14/14s. Oh goodness, this is going to take some clicks. The end result, so what's going to happen here? We just keep doing this. Forest triggers Nantuko and Bristly Bill, put a counter on something, use a forest to pay for the Nantuko, do it again, do it again, do it again. So the end result of this is going to be that we have infinite forests that tap for 2 mana. Our team's going to get technically infinitely big. Of course, we're on Arena, so we're kind of restricted by time. I cannot believe we're beating this. Our opponent had a ridiculous draw. Turn 2 Galton Mavrin against a deck that has 0 ways of removing it. And I think we got a shot here. Because then next turn, with all of our lands that make double mana, we can just Bristly Bill a bunch of times, double the counters, make our team absurdly huge. And we have 3 creatures, opponent only has 2. There is still risk here, right? Like, we are literally at 1 life, thanks to Sorin. Opponent has a Lightning Bolt, opponent has, hasty creature, like a dashed Ragavan. Anything like that would actually make us die. So we might do all this and still die. That is an actual possibility, but wow. Well, I guess that shows how explosive this deck can be. This was what, turn 4? I believe this was turn 4. Infinite lands, infinitely big creatures. Kind of insane. Well, Springheart Nantuko is such a cool card. I feel like Springheart Nantuko is a card that I'm just going to jam in every creature green commander deck for the rest of the time. Like, it's, the value's so worth it. And then you have the cool shenanigans like this, where you sometimes accidentally just do like something truly absurd with the card. Well, keep growing the dorks. So I think our untapped creatures are big enough that we should be able to stop the Galton Mavrin. Maybe we go for like 20 power. Let's go for 20-ish power. Or 20, let's go 20 toughness. Actually, I don't even know if it matters. Like, the only thing we don't want to happen is somehow die to our opponent attacking us with the Trampler because we stopped comboing too early. Because we can just do this forever. I guess there's really no reason not to keep doing this. Our opponent can scoop at any time. It's not like we're not holding them hostage. They don't have to sit there. Like, they can just concede whenever they want to. Well, yeah, land. How about 50 lands? Let's go for 50 lands. 49, 50. All right, get the token. Can you kill us? I mean, if our opponent can't kill us, we have so many counters on our team that doubling them 20 times, something like that, some huge amount of times with Bristly Bill, our team will get absurdly large. Let's see it. Let's see that 1 missing point of damage. I don't think our opponent can believe that they're not going to win this game. I cannot believe that our opponent's not going to win this game. Might not win this game. Insolent Neonate. Okay, that doesn't make us die. So Galton Mavrin only cares about other attacking creatures. It doesn't trigger off itself, which is helpful. That's like the biggest thing you can put into play with Sorin, right? Like, I'm pretty sure it is the biggest thing you can put into play with Sorin. And they did it on turn 2, and we survived. Found it. Gonna sack the Galton Mavrin. Sure, hits us down to 1, but 1's not dead. Passes. Oh my goodness, we did it. We did it. Untap the land. Wow, is our opponent actually gonna let us do the doubling? Well, let's double some counters here. Bristly Bill, double the counters on everything. Bristly Bill, do it again. Okay. How big did they get? Oh, an opponent scoops it up, and I cannot believe we won that game. I was about ready to scoop there when I put that Galton Mavrin into play, but we found a way with the power of infinite lands. Sweet. We are mulliganing a single Nykthos hand. Trying to make infinite lands, but this hand is not going to do it. Yeah, gotta ship that one. This actually isn't the worst. Not great by any stretch, but it's not bad. Like, we can put a Kiora to the bottom, I think, and then, yeah, do some digging with Invasion. Maybe find a Nykthos, or we need the Nissa eventually, but it's a little early for us to actually be able to combo opponent. Wooded Foothills cracks it, gets a forest and Elvish Mystic, sure. Well, here's more Nantukos. I mean, we could always play Nantukos fairly, I guess. We don't really want to play him fairly, but Elvish Mystic, eh? No Fear of the Bowmaster. Deathrite Shaman. And Wirewood's. Oh, all right. Well, if you're playing elves, which our opponent is, if they're playing Wirewood Symbiote, if you're playing elves, you just gotta accept that you're gonna get got by Bowmaster sometimes. There's not really a way around it. Utopia Sprawl's not the worst draw. It gives us something to do with this Kiora. And I guess we just Invasion of Ixalan. We're going to have to be fast, though. Like, our opponent only has 1 land, but they kind of have 3 mana, maybe even 4 mana with the Symbiote. Well, we already got 2 Nantukos. I guess we just take the Old Growth Troll, which at least is a somewhat reasonable body. And if we ever draw Nykthos, it becomes very good. Opponent. The problem is, Natural Order is a very scary card. If they Natural Order for a Crater Hoof, we can die pretty much at any time. Elvish Warmaster. Yup. I mean, they're down to 2 cards in hand, and right now, their board is not deadly, right? Like, it's growing, but right now, it's not a huge amount of power. Ooh, double Warmaster. All right. I mean, they're going wide. We get to play a blocker, though. Opponent hits us for 1. We draw Delighted Halfling. Would have liked to land there. Yeah, I mean, I guess we really would love to get Kiora down before the Old Growth Troll, but if we play Kiora, we're doing what? Kiora, and then we're untapping and playing Bristly Bill, which I think is the best bet. So we get down a blocker. It doesn't stop everything, but it does help. Kiora might be a good distraction here, where our opponent, instead of attacking us, might feel like they need to attack down the Kiora. I mean, if they don't have a payoff, we're kind of alive. If they do have a payoff, then life ends brutally and swiftly. Opponent makes a mana with the Deathrite. That's probably a bad sign. Oh, Natural Order, sacks the Deathrite, gets the hoof, and we die. We are attempting to make infinite lands, and this hand's not the worst. Actually, it's kind of an exciting hand. We got the Nissa. We need to find our Springheart Nantuko, but Utopia Sprawl into Kiora plus Invasion, maybe into Nissa plus win the game. Seems reasonable. Seems like it could do some work. Yeah, I think we just lead Forest into Utopia Sprawl. This is a pretty fast start. We don't have the combo, but it is a fast start. See what our opponent's doing with their Yarion deck. Fast land, go. Let me draw Forest. Well, let's play the land. Play the Kiora. Untap the Utopia Sprawl land. Do a little invading. Invade Ixalan, which somehow draws us a card. We do occasionally flip it. It's not a big... Ooh. I mean, we gotta take it. Wait, can we combo next turn? Tap, untap 5. Oh, we're close. We might need 2 more turns. We don't have a payoff, so we'd just be making infinite lands, but... Even just making, opponent gives us a free bonus land. Thank you, opponent. We have another Kiora, so losing at Kiora is not a big deal. Another Utopia Sprawl. Well, okay. So Utopia Sprawl on green. And tap for 3, Kiora. Yeah, let's untap. Play the land. Play the Nissa. And now all we need is to draw another land, right? So we have the full setup. Let's start attacking them. Just as I talked about, we don't usually flip the battle. We might as well flip the battle. It does draw us a card with Kiora. So we just need to hit a land to start the landfall chain, and we get to make infinite forests. About it. Untap land. And, I mean, our opponent could have removal. That could fizzle it. Toxic Deluge to kill a land. I mean, and there's a forest. All right, well... This doesn't actually win us the game, technically, but we're gonna make infinite lands, which is cool. So turn the forest into a creature, Springheart Nantuko, bestow it upon the forest, and here we go. Forest, and we'll make a forest, and I think we'll make a forest, and we might make another forest, and how about a forest, and forest, and forest, and forest. I think our win condition is just making forests until our opponent gets bored and scoops. I mean, in theory, we're going to have hundreds of mana, right? So all we got to do is draw anything at some point in the future. Plus, we still got the Nissa. We still got the Kiora. Forest. How about a forest? And another forest. And a forest, and a forest, and a forest. Well, we'll do this for a bit. And now we'll pass the turn, flip our battle, draw an opponent. Scoops it up. Well, infinite forests. Apparently enough to win even without the payoff. We are trying to make infinite forests, and this hand, reasonably effective. Not very fast. Ooh, Utopia Sprawl actually speeds it up by a decent amount here. This lets us turn 2 a Old Growth Troll. Turn 3 an Old Growth Troll. If we ever draw a Nykthos, we're just party time. Old Growth Troll's cute with Disciple of Freyalise too. Sack it, draw cards, make... Oh, come on now. Stubborn denial. Well, our plans have been denied, unfortunately, by a hippo. Territorial Kavu. Oh boy. Kiora. You know what would have been really good with that Utopia Sprawl? That's Kiora. In that case, play the tap land, pass the turn. Yeah, we might be too slow. Opponent. Reading our MDFC and getting in. Gonna do a little looting. Discards a card, hits us down to 16. Oh, Kavu. And they can make it into 5/5. So we draw Kiora, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think we're just dead. Like, we can play an Old Growth Troll, but the Kavus are bigger than it, so we just chump, and yeah. And this hand, well, this hand's actually kind of fine. Like, bunch of invasions to do some digging. We got the Nantuko for once we're ready to combo. Some ramp. Actually seems pretty good. Ooh, Eldrazi. This'll be interesting. Devourer of Destiny revealed. Opponent gonna set things up for next turn. Well, opponent leads on the MDFC. Well, land go. Another forest isn't the worst since we have 2 Nykthoses. Opponent with the tap land. Well, there's Bristly Bill. There is a time when that Bristly Bill is going to be kind of important. I think we get down the Fanatic. Next turn, we can potentially double up on invasions. So, actually, maybe we Bristly Bill. I don't think our opponent should have much removal, right? So if we Bristly Bill here, we can add a counter to Bristly Bill. Next turn, if we make our land drop, we can get it to 4 power to turn on Fanatic. Ugh, well, I guess we gotta take Disciple of Freyalise. It is a non-Nykthos land. Opponent. We can also potentially flip the invasion if we want to. Ooh, Ugin's Labyrinth. That's a good one. Devour Destiny, exiled. Opponent. Forsaken Monument. Well, things about to get scary. We could Nantuko the Fanatic of Ronas just to make copies of it. I don't know if that's great. We can also could Disciple of Freyalise to draw cards. This is a weird scenario. Let's just forget about Nykthos for this turn, I think. Oh, we need to... Oh, this is so awkward. Yeah, we need to play the second Nykthos to trigger the Bristly Bill, to grow the Bristly Bill, to turn on the Fanatic Erotas. Now it taps for 4, and we can play some things. So play the Invasion, do some digging, take a Old Growth Troll, make 4 mana, play the Old Growth Troll. And then, ooh, this actually works out great. Now we can Disciple of Freyalise to sack the Old Growth Troll, draw 4. That was a pretty good turn. And we get more mana. Ooh, there's a Courser, which is potentially infinite mana during the combo. But, or infinite life during the combo. No Nissa, though. We still need the Nissa. Let's flip this. I don't know if this is right or not. The problem is if they have a Wrath or something, then we might end up regretting flipping that into a creature. Well, opponent's going to untap with a decent amount of mana, although 2 of their lands aren't colorless, so they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 mana. Darn it. Crown the Great Creator. Gain some life. Well, this is probably not good. Do they have a Wrath they can get from the sideboard? Our next turn is not infinite, but it could be cute. Grafdigger's Cage. Huh. I wonder what they think that's stopping in our deck with another Disciple of Freyalise. I mean, we have roughly unlimited mana here. play Kiora, indestructible. Not that that's relevant. The only concern is like, I don't know. We're just going to do things. Sure, maybe they find a Wrath. I imagine if they had a Wrath, they could tutor up with a car and they would have gotten something other than Grafdigger's Cage. I guess they're worried about us like natural ordering, even though that's not a thing in our deck. So we can Disciple of Freyalise. Sacrifice our Battle Dork. Draw 4, gain 4. Still no Nissa. Well, play... We do get to start drawing cards, I guess. Outcaster, Trailblazer. Draw a card with Kiora. We still have another Nykthos, too. Ooh, another Trailblazer. Okay, this is going to get kind of wild. Old Growth Troll, essentially free, thanks to Nykthos. Draw a card, draw a card. Okay, there's a land. Well, let's untap the Nykthos. And Utopia Sprawl. And Nykthos. Casual 18 mana. So we're only gonna make like 40 mana this turn. Did you see the leak for Bloomburrow of the Nykthos for creature types? That card's gonna be so busted. It might be worse than actual Nykthos, but it might not be actually. It's close to Nykthos power level. And Nykthos, you see what it's doing here. Let's spend one of our Springheart Nantukos to draw cards, because we can put it on... Oh, is Disciple better, or just... At this point, I think we just go Outcaster Trailblazer. I think that actually is going to draw us more cards than copying the Disciple. Let's spend both of them. Trailblazer, Trailblazer. Now we can make a land drop, get 2 more Trailblazers, draw an absurd number of cards, and we still have a Kiora, so we can potentially Nykthos again. Counter on Bristly Bill, I guess. And pay, copy. Oh, what a turn. What a turn. Oh, there's the Nissa. There's the Nissa. We do need another Springheart Nantuko. Draw some cards, make some mana. So we need to find another Springheart Nantuko now. Let's play the Old Growth Troll since it's free. Draw some cards. We are kind of running out of card draw. Yeah, I think we're actually fizzling. Nissa, another Nykthos. Untap the Nykthos. What a ridiculous turn. Tap it for 27 more manas. I guess just play things. Playing Nissa. And turn on a land. Delighted Halfling. And Evolution Sage. And Fanatic Aronas. We're going to have to discard so many cards to hand size. We might as well cast as many of them as we can. We'll actually play another Nissa too. Because remember, we have a Bristly Bill. So we can turn these lands into creatures with counters. Kiora. I mean, I think we just win here, right? Even without the combo? Because we can just untap Nykthos again. We have lands that have 3 counters on them. We make an absurd amount of mana. This should just be the game. I wasn't even thinking of it, but this should just literally be the game. Kiora, untap Nykthos. Wow. Oh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Tap makes the mana. And now, we'll play the Utopia Sprawl first. It is technically correct, which of course is the best kind. Now we make the mana. And it is old Cactus Jack's time to shine. So, double the counters. Double the counters. So we can do this, another 12-ish times. Double the counters, double the counters. Our team is going to get very, very big. Our opponent, how do they stop this? They shouldn't be able to stop this. They have 3 cards in hand. They have 3 mana. Like, none of their stuff matters. They gain some life. Not going to matter in the face of the biggest Bristly Bill in the history of Magic, 700 counters. Let's bump that up to 1,400 and bump that up to 2,800, over 3,000 now, 6,000, and now 12,000. How about 24,000? Bristly Bill's wild. All right, and then we'll go to combat and swing him at your face, swing him at your face. All right, opponent. Good attempt, Eldrazi, good attempt. Oh, that is a big Bristly Bill. That's a big forest. Well, this is not how we were planning on winning. We were planning on winning with our infinite land combo, but sometimes Bristly Bill just adds some counters to things, just a few. Opponent. Wait, do they have a way to get out of this? Kozilek's Command. Wow, they can jump block. Oh no. Wait, are we going to do this and lose? Or not win, I guess? I don't know if we're going to lose. Wow. Okay, Kozilek's command. We only have 2 other huge creatures, so our opponent can chump and chump, right? None of them have trample. If the trolls were not summoning sick. Wow, another one. Oh, wow, they're going to kill both of the lands. Wow. And take 3? Wow. I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming at all. Okay, the game continues. And now our opponent, we didn't even attack the Karn. And there's a 1 ring. Opponent gains life. Well, we can't kill him next turn because there's a 1 ring. Opponent gonna do some tutoring. Wow, are we gonna end up losing this? Gets another 1 ring, draws with the 1 ring. So our opponent's protected for 2 turns? I mean, we can double our counters a bunch of times. We can draw a bunch more cards. We only have 2 lands on the battlefield, but we have roughly infinite mana. This took a turn. Well, let's play the Courser. Let's play the land. Play the Nissa. We have like every combo piece imaginable on the battlefield. Play the Forest. Well, we should start adding counters to things that have trample, apparently. Well, we will copy once. I don't even know if we can do this twice because we're drawing too many cards. So Outcaster Trailblazer. Draw. We need the Nantuko still. Draw. And draw. There's all of our Nissas. Make some mana. I think we're going to decline. We don't want to mill out. Do a little proliferation. Mega mana. So we do have an Invasion of Ixalan on top, which can potentially find us our Springheart Nantuko for the full combo. If we combo off on this board state, it's going to be wild. Well, let's untap the Nykthos. I think we're just going to double our counters a few times. Might as well play the Utopia Sprawl. Get it out of our hand. Make some mana. We're going to hold on to the Bristly Bill in case our opponent can actually interact with this. We've all run out the Fanatic of Mogai and make some mana and let Bristly Bill do its thing. So in Bristly Bill 10-ish times, double them up. Oh god, this is going to be the biggest Bristly Bill I've ever made, that's for sure. We're getting to the point where each activation is adding hundreds of thousands of counters, soon to be millions of counters. I'm pretty sure Bristly Bill is lethal. I'll say, if it manages to get through these 1 rings, I'm pretty sure it's going to be lethal. Well, double it up, double it up, double it up, double it up, and there's a 1 ring, so I guess we can double one more time with the Fanatic. Pass the turn. Actually, we should kill the Karn, right? Might as well kill the Karn. We'll make sure it's really dead by sending Big Bill in there. Our 1,000,000 power 2-drop. Well, Karn has successfully been killed. Sadly, we don't win next turn either. Our opponent has bought themselves a lot of time with these 1 rings to potentially draw out of this somehow. They need to draw some sort of sweeper. If they draw an Ugin, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. And then I guess this video will be, we made infinite lands and infinite power and infinite everything and still lost. Opponent is Alfred's Void. To the bottom. Well, I bet they're gonna 1 ring. See, this is why we should play a Questing Beast. If we just had a single Questing Beast, found it, gets protection again, draws again. The good news is a targeted removal spell does nothing at this point. Passing. Invasion of Ixalan. So I think our plan now is 37 mana. Yeah, let's see if we can do the combo. If we can do the combo and make infinite lands, then all of our team will be infinitely big. There it is. There's Nantuko. All right. Well, Springheart Nantuko. Put that on the super big Forest. And now the real fun begins. Oh, this is going to be so sweet. So we play the Forest, start the loop, Bristly Bill triggers to put a, so we're going to put a counter on literally every single creature. Nantuko triggers. We will pay. We also have somewhere in here Courser of Kruphix to gain life and Nissa to make mana. So the goal is we're going to put a counter on literally every single one of our creatures. We're going to make an absurd amount of mana. Once we get a counter on each creature, We will Bristly Bill double the counters, so our entire team will be thousands of power. And then we hope that our opponent does not wrath or find another One Ring. We need one turn. We need one turn of attacking for what might be the biggest attack in Magic history. Well, let's make infinite lands. Bristly Bill. Grow in the dorks. Nantuko, making the lands. Yup. Grow you. And we're going to be starting with a baseline of a single counter, which is not a lot. But when you can double as many times as we can, I guess it really doesn't matter if we're starting at one counter. Bristly Bill, trigger, Nantuko, make a land. We have almost got a counter on everything. We're close. We're close to having a counter on every single creature. Well, put it on the token. We have almost achieved our goal. Put it on the token. So everything has a counter, right? Yeah, okay, Nissa, you get a bonus counter. Let's stop. We'll call it good. Now we need to resolve, oh god, this huge set. Oh, I forgot Evolution Sage. Okay, so everything's going to get a bunch more counters. That's going to help the doubling quite a bit. We need to not pay for these other Springheart Nantukos, or we're going to end up drawing our deck and losing. So Nissa makes mana, decline the Nantukos on the Trailblazers, proliferate everything, make a mana, and somewhere in there we're getting a life with Courser too. There's the Courser. Gain a life with Courser. So technically, infinite life, infinite counters, infinitely big creatures, infinite mana, infinite in pretty much every possible way. But does it matter? And can we resolve these 59 triggers before our clock runs out? That is the other question. And I'm not sure the answer. All right, proliferate, green, decline, also decline, and proliferate. And this is literally, I think, this is the dream game, right? We have quite literally every payoff in our deck. Every one of our infinite landfall payoffs is on the battlefield, and we made infinite lands with them. This is like the absolute perfect scenario, except for the fact that the One Ring exists, and we can't kill our opponent, even though we're gonna have literally billions, I believe, of power. 24 triggers left. The rope isn't going yet, so we might actually be okay here. We might actually not time out. I guess it's not as slow as I was fearing. We just gotta not misclick and accidentally make a copy of Outcaster Trailblazer. I guess infinite card draw too. We do have the ability where we could draw our entire deck here if we wanted to. That's the other thing, right? If you put a Springheart Nantuko on something else, you can kind of like make infinites of those as well. Well, let's untap the Nykthos. We finally got through the triggers. Make a little mana. And Bristly Bill. Double it up. Double it up. And double it up. I don't even know how big those numbers are. Is that 8 billion? Whatever it is, it's more than 32. I'm pretty sure every single one of our creatures is big enough to kill our opponent, not just this game, but for every game of Magic they play for the rest of their life. A single attack, double it up, and double it up. And I guess we might as well double it up. Thank you to our opponent for sitting through this. Although I guess like they think they can win and they might be able to win. So I guess they have an incentive to sit through it. Double it up. Emblem Nissa? Does it even matter? That makes the lands indestructible. I don't think we want to get the last forest out of our deck though. But it will make our lands indestructible. Then we'll pass the turn. And no sense in attacking because of the One Ring. All right, opponent. This is your last chance. This is it. This is all. Do you have another One Ring? Do you have a Wrath? Do you have something to crush our dreams? Opponent, One Ring draws 2. All of our creatures are... Wow, look how big that Bristly Bill is. So our normal creatures are 311,000 power and toughness. And the ones that have been around longer are even bigger. Opponent's going to let us attack. Well, here it comes. The biggest attack in Timeless history. Thanks to infinite lands. Infinite land... I think our opponent might be a little dead. Our opponent is taking billions of damage, and that's the power of making infinite lands. That's the power of Springheart Nantuko. It's not going to get any better than that. It is not going to get better than that. Wow. So what did we learn this week about our infinite land combo for Timeless? And overall record-wise, I played a bunch of games with the deck. We finished with a 46% win percentage, which honestly isn't that bad. Like, I was expecting it to be worse than that. So I wouldn't say the deck's like super competitive or anything, but 46% is like reasonable. It's winning almost half the time. Most importantly, we had some absolutely absurd games with this deck. We pulled off the combo a bunch of times, and it was super spectacular every single time we pulled it off. We did have one combo where we just made infinite lands. We didn't have a payoff, but even that was good enough because our opponent ended up scooping anyway. But we got to see some of the biggest creatures possible with Bristly Bill. We got to see so many triggers go on this deck. So the combo, it actually kind of does work. And I think this is a pretty good shell for it. The like green devotion-y style shell lets us really turbo into the combo, which is really important in Timeless. We got to see, I think the best example of this was the game we played against the deck that went like turn 2, Dark Ritual, Sorin, Galta, and Maverin, and just had like a turn 2, what is it, 12-12 or whatever? Like just the biggest, baddest, most game-ending threat you can imagine. And we managed to, because of all of our mana production, we actually managed to combo off quick enough to race the Galta. We just made creatures bigger than the Galta thanks to Bristly Bill and ended up stealing that win at 1 life. So that's the importance of the fast mana. Timeless is just a super fast format. So if we're like fairly playing our Nissa on turn 5 and trying to combo off on turn 6, not going to win a lot of games that way in Timeless. But with the fast mana that we can generate with Utopia, Sprawl, and Nykthos, we actually have a chance to keep up, and the deck can do some ridiculous things. So that is how you make infinite lands with Springheart Nantuko. That's Better Deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon. Looking for even more magic? Well, check out the video where we taught some arena zoomers about the power of Emrakul and Chalice of the Void, or maybe the one where we trolled some arena zoomers with stacks.